हाय एवरीवन, लेट्स कैच अप। एक चीज़ मानना पड़ेगा, ट्रम्प हैज़ क्रिएटेड एन अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड अ डिज़ास्टर एट द सेम टाइम। जो जियो पॉलिटिक्स में हो रहा है, दैट्स ऑल टुगेदर अ डिफरेंट बॉल गेम, जहाँ पे ही बॉट ऑल द यूरोपियन यूनियन फोक्स, उनको थोड़ा सा क्लास लगाई वहाँ पे वो वाशिंगटन में, बट दैट इज़ सेपरेट डिस्कशन दैट वी कैन हैव। फ्रॉम द सप्लाई चेन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आप ये देख लो कि दो तीन मेजर मूव्स हुए हैं इंडिया में। एन इम्पैक्ट ऑन इंडिया क्या है? इंडिया में अभी मीटिंग्स चल रही हैं बिटवीन चाइनीज़ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स एंड इंडियन रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स, एंड कुछ चीज़ें एक फ्लो में चीज़ें निकलते आ रही हैं। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, चाइना ने इंडिया के फर्टिलाइज़र्स और रेयर अर्थ मिनरल्स और बाकी चीज़ों पे अपना थोड़ा फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दिखाया है, एंड दैट विल हैव एन ह्यूज इम्प्लीकेशन। नाउ what are the implications? For example, Indian EV market, which is still at a nascent stage, उसमें सबसे बड़ा जो प्रॉब्लम आ रहा था दैट वाज रेयर अर्थ मैग्नेट्स का, मिनरल्स का जो यूटिलाइजेशन है वो चाइना पे डिपेंडेंट था, और चाइना ने वो थोड़ा बंद कर रखा था, थोड़ा क्या काफ़ी बंद कर रखा था। नाउ यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, एक जीडीपी में ऑटोमोबाइल इज़ वन ऑफ द क्रिटिकल सेक्टर्स जो एक जॉब्स को ड्राइव करता है, ग्रोथ को ड्राइव करता है, एंड इट बिकम्स अ प्राइमरी इंडिकेटर दैट people are able to consume it or not, because it's a very diverse, you can say, ecosystem मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। तो अगर एक नट एक किसी ऑटोमोबाइल फैक्ट्री में लगता है तो उसके पीछे पाँच छः इंडस्ट्रीज़ उसको बैक कर रही होती है, और बहुत सारा इकोसिस्टम होता है और लोगों की एम्प्लॉयमेंट होती है। नाउ व्हाई आई एम सेइंग ऑल दिस इज़, और इसका रेयर वर्थ से क्या लेना देना है? नाउ देर इज़ अ ह्यूज पुश एंड अ डिमांड इन इंडिया कि EVs has to be more prevalent. Now, इसका ग्रोथ थोड़ा सैचुरेट हो रहा था, कंपनीज वे नॉट एबल टू पुश इट थ्रू अपने ईवी प्रोडक्शन में, थोड़ा कॉस्ट भी बढ़ रहा था। ये सब बिकॉज रेयर अर्थ मैग्नेट्स एंड रेयर अर्थ मिनरल कंपोनेंट्स वे नॉट अवेलेबल, एंड इट वाज इंडिया वाज फीलिंग शिवर्स कि ये कैसे एड्रेस किया जा सकता है। But if you see the meeting results, it shows that we would be receiving a lot of help from China. It cannot be a help. It is that they opened the door with India to buy all this rare earth magnets and minerals from them, and fertilizers as well. मेरा फोकस अभी रेयर अर्थ मैग्नेट्स को लेके या रेयर अर्थ के कंपोनेंट्स को लेके हैं, बिकॉज right now the consumption in India is around 5-6 billion worth of semiconductors. Now, why these two are connected? अगर आप देखो, जिन चीज़ों में रेयर अर्थ कंपोनेंट्स लगते हैं उन्हीं प्रोडक्ट्स में बहुत हेवी कंजम्पशन सेमीकंडक्टर्स का होता है, और बहुत ज़्यादा कंजम्पशन एक यू कैन से इंटीग्रेटेड ऑटोमोबाइल और इंटीग्रेटेड मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में होता है। सो दिस इज़ वन ऑफ द ग्रोथ ड्राइवर्स। ये एंटिसिपेट किया जाता है विद ऑल द नंबर्स एंड फिगर्स दैट बाय इन नेक्स्ट 5 years इंडियन कंजम्पशन ऑफ रेयर अर्थ वुड बी इंक्रीजिंग 4 or 5 folds, बिकॉज हमारा ईवी मार्केट ही उतना ज़्यादा कंज्यूम करना स्टार्ट करेगा, फॉरगेट अबाउट डिफेंस एंड अदर स्टाफ। नाउ implication on our you can say semiconductor consumption, क्योंकि इंडिया तो कुछ खास बनाता नहीं है उसमें, will increase by 20 or 25 folds, because you need to have spares, you need to have inventories, you need to make sure that production ready stuff is there, there would be rejections, so on and so forth, जिसमें आप बहुत सारा सेमीकंडक्टर कंजम्पशन करोगे इंडिया के अंदर। So the projection is around 100 plus billion worth of semiconductors will be consumed in India by 2030, and personally I feel it is a very very small number. India is full of surprises, and this will be one of the surprises that the world will get. The consumption of India would be really humongous. हम लोग हमेशा इसको माइक्रो लेवल पे देखते हो कि गाड़ियाँ कितनी कंज्यूम होंगी या टॉयज़ कितने कंज्यूम होंगे या डिफेंस में कितना होगा, बट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड एवरी डे देर वुड बी अ सर्टन पोर्शन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन हु विल बी हैविंग द एक्सेस to some or other stuff where the semiconductors are getting consumed. For example, mobile phones. इंडिया काफ़ी एक्सपोर्ट भी कर रहा है, इंडिया कंज्यूम भी कर रहा है, और जितने भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गैजेट्स इंडिया में कंज्यूम होने वाले हैं फ्यूचर में, बिकॉज वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड वन मोर एलिमेंट इनटू इट, दैट इज इंडिया इज़ अ पावर हाउस व्हेन इट कम्स टू software side of the, you can say, or the infrastructure side of the IT technology and IT industry. Now, what? Let me qualify that. Yes, there are large organizations beyond India as well, and they are doing good. For example, in Poland, in Ireland, and even US as well. But if you compare the scale that India provides when it comes to the services, specifically in IT, ITES, it's huge. It's no comparison on that. Yes, on a dollar figure, US may outsmart India any given day, but because of lot of other economical reasons, because of the salaries and everything, you can always say that. But from the sheer number point of view, India stands no second to none. Now, this whole consumption of semiconductors will lead to huge influx and internal, you can say, requirements of services which India has been looking out for. If you see current India's model, it is mostly, from the services point of view, it is mostly designed, or it has morphed into a, you can say, a kind of a structure jahan pe India is servicing the world with this ecosystem, and it is a powerhouse in it. But if the hindsight is, India ka jo apna self consumption hai, it is very very low comparatively. I'm not saying it is low, it is very low comparatively. From the dollar figure, it is low. From, you can say, sheer numbers, it is low. And from the, you can say, capacity point of view, it is low. What this whole EV stuff will do is that will increase multiple fold. Now, Indian companies, Indian startups, Indian automobile will require that software, you can say, backbone to be leveraged in India. It will be self-consuming. The supply chains will have to be routed towards India, जो अभी तक इंडिया ने किया नहीं है. Best of the services what we provide to the components. देखिए, at the end of a day, if you have a component, you need to have a code around it. When it comes to a digital component, most of the cases it would be, the code would be written in India. It may be designed in somewhere else, it may be, you can say, visualized somewhere else, but when it's when it comes to core coding, it would be an Indian who would have done it. And it's very rare that it would be done in the European country, because India may, as long as there is no language requirement and other stuff, or there's a local configuration around it. But from the supply chain point of view, you will see that Indian market will start consuming it more and more and more and more and more, and start leading the, you can say, the consumption patterns across the, you can say, supply lines, digital supply lines in India. And that will be a big boon for the IT industry, because right now, for example, tariffs may come, or there is a new president in a White House who may have a different idea about India or the services or this. Till now, with grace of God, nobody has touched it, nobody is talking about it, because everybody benefits out of it. And there is no replacement as such of the cards readily available. But आज है, कल नहीं हो सकता है. ये self consumption actually may lead to, you can say, a kind of an ecosystem where there is a lot of export, but at the same time, a lot of consumption as well. And the capacity, what I'm looking at, the numbers which I'm looking at, is whatever will be exported outside India, the equally amount would be consumed in India. Yes, there is always, you can say, comparison that has been done यूएस से अगर हम ये सेम सर्विसेज देंगे, सेम टेक्नोलॉजी को हम हेल्प करेंगे, द कॉस्ट or the you can say returns will be higher versus if we do it in the India. But what I see in future, because the value add that Indian companies are going to have based on the technological backbone, that value add may Indian consumer are ready to pay. There is, as you can say, a segment which is coming in, which is going to consume this whole stuff. For example, where I'm coming from, I'll give you a basic analogy. Uh, आप यूएस में जाइए और एक स्टैंडर्ड मिड टियर कार देख लीजिए, जस्ट लाइक टेस्ला और एनी अदर इक्वलेंट वन, दैट विल बी इन द रेंज ऑफ $40,000 to $50,000. बेसिक मॉडल की बात कर रहा हूँ, एंड दैट इज़ वेयर the maximum consumption of the vehicles are there, and that's why the whole ecosystem has to support it. Now come to India. We generally had a sweet spot of an automobile or a, you can say, vehicle around 10 lakh rupees, which is less than a $10,000 range, or in the range of 10,000. Now, with EVs coming in and purchasing capacity increasing, or there is a capacity available which was never utilized and people didn't see a value in it, कि यार 20 लाख रुपए देना है या 30 लाख रुपए देना है, which is like around $40,000-50,000 price tag car. Now in India, those are getting popularity. So, you can say point in case, you can say, see Harriers of the world and XEV9E of the world. Mahindra is coming a few more cars. Tata is coming a few more cars in that segment, and that segment is gaining some popularity as well as traction in India. Now, if Indian consumer is ready to pay more for it, it will demand more services, more you can say better products. Then which will push our automobile sector to give the same kind of you can say experience which an international player gives it. And what I'm seeing right now is Mahindras of the world or Tatas of the world are taking this car into a developed market. They're treating India as a test bed. But at the end of a day, the majority of the consumption of these cars will be in India. Hence, the consumption of the services will also increase it. Right now, for example, service sector in India or the service export is around 500 billion के आसपास है, और internal consumption भी 100 billion के आसपास सब कुछ मिला के. So we can see it's around 500 billion, and that is a contribution to our Indian GDP. In future, as the manufacturing may increase, other you can say the requirements may increase. But if you see from this sector alone, Indian requirements may increase by at least 2 or 3 folds. So yes, the dream of becoming a manufacturing hub of world may be little far distant. We have been a services powerhouse for the world, but now in future will be services backbone for India as well, and it will be an interesting you can say correlation to see for. Thank you very much. I thought this should be brought up to the all audience and can provoke some thoughts. Thank you.